Okay. There, I guess. Probably over here. Check. Microphone check. Anybody out there? Good. I think Discord goes into streaming mode every time I don't want it to. Never when I actually. Okay. Let's see. Let's do a quick little run through here. How we're looking. Nice. Nice. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh. Okay, welcome folks to a special edition of MicroCinema 4K. If you don't know, MicroCinema 4K is a project to do the best live streaming microscopy in the world. Yeah, that's what we're going to try to do today. What's up, Numarski? Welcome in. Hey, Val. Okay. So, let's see. I've got what that looks like. There we go. All right. I'll bring this up every now and then during this stream just to kind of show like what I'm doing here. And essentially, I've got an oil immersion dark field condenser, and this is an Amscope condenser. I can't remember which model it is, like the A600 or something, 6600, something like that. And it just happens to have, probably because someone in China just copied it. It happens to have the exact same dovetail as Olympus condensers. And so you can just kind of pop it in there and it works just fine. One second, let's see. Yeah, that's fun. Okay. Now let's go ahead and take polarizer. Actually, let's go to 10x here. We get zoomed in a little bit on this. The oil immersion condenser, one of the great properties of it is that it projects such a steep angle of light that your dark field is just crazy dark. It's way darker than any kind of like patch stop dark field you've ever done. And it also, like, when you're looking at certain specimens, it creates very interesting, like, different kinds of effects. And so this is a big key to this high angle light to getting like really high resolution on diatoms. And so we're going to go ahead and kind of like work towards that here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a polarizer in, and we're just going to see like how this polarizer affects things. The polarizers are always going to cut down the light by about half. Let me just check my, I just want to see. There we go. I just needed to make a small adjustment, a little off center with the the condenser. These condensers are very touchy. And so I'm just going to turn this polarizer. And one of the things that I noticed today was how certain structural color patterns respond to turning the polarizer. And so if we look here at N oblonga, you can see as I turn the polarizer, it's having a response. And on the left, that's a Stauroneus. It's also got kind of a response going on. And this is one of these interesting things that I honestly don't really know exactly what's going on, but it seems to be important for getting really high resolution, the active polarization. I'm going to go now to the 20x. This is a 0.7 numerical aperture. And so you can see we've still got really dark field. And if I turn the polarizer now, I'm still getting like effects on the N oblonga, but kind of less so on the Stauroneus, although there are some poroids kind of near the center, near the Stauros, that still change. Interesting. So this is a 0.7 numerical aperture. And classically, this is like difficult to get dark field at, especially like people usually are trying to get their like 40x to have dark field here. And but now I'm going to go to something that almost nobody would ever be able to get dark field at, which is my 40x S-plane apo, and focus that down. Now you can see we've got a real beautiful dark field, just great resolution on these diatoms, and it's still just pitch black in the background. And so this is like what oil immersion dark field condensers get you, is this really intense light, that intensely angled light that allows you to use dark field condensers, it allows you to use high numerical aperture lenses with dark field. And then something else that's really interesting is so this diatom test slide, it's recommended that to resolve the lineolae. Oh, hey, Mike Goyette, are you Michael G? Good to have you here. It's recommended to resolve the lineolae of this Navicula oblonga, to do like oil immersion, like double oil immersion and stuff, like go to a high numerical aperture lens. But if you look closely, you can already see we're starting to get some lineolae. So the lineolae, sorry, I don't have like a I need like a laser pointer in OBS or something. So the striae are the kind of finger looking things that go up and down and are all kind of like pointing towards the center. And then the striae are actually composed of lineolae, which go across each striae. There's a bunch of little lines, basically little linear pores. And if I put a polarizer on, I'm going to bump up the exposure here, and I twist this polarizer to be aligned with the left striae. I can actually pull out, I'm not using any analyzer up top. I'm just using a polarizer down below. You can see it kind of pulls out some lineolae. And if I go the other way, I can kind of barely maybe get something there. There's some that look kind of like ghost lineolae. But what's just interesting to me is that like already here at 0.95, you're able to get some lineolae resolved, and these lineolae, there's kind of a confusing claim in the. It was confusing for me. It actually makes sense now that I think about it more. But in the literature for this test slide, they are saying that the lineolae were spaced by 140 nanometers or something like that. So like theoretically, you shouldn't be able to see them yet with a 0.95 numerical aperture lens because you're at a diffraction limit of something like let's see, just under 300 microns. But that actually makes sense because the lineolae themselves are spaced by about 300 microns, but they are the width of them, the width of the slits themselves is actually less than 200 nanometers. So what we're going to do today is really try to bring out the width of those. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually go to cross polarization here, and that's going to we can see if that gets us anything here. Maybe it's not too helpful here with the 40x. I'm gonna bring my stuff back down, and then I'm gonna bring table down, and I'm gonna switch my 60x into place, and I'm just going to come in the back here, pop a little bit of oil down. I think I got a little oil on the 40x, not a big deal, just on the side of it. Okay, and now we'll just raise up, dunk. You can't see it, let's see it. So I can see it, it'll turn on real quick once I dunk into the oil. There it is. And okay, so we got our 60x in there. Looking a little odd right now. Not sure why it's red. Oh, I know exactly why it's red. Hold on a second. I forgot to do an important thing. Let me switch out my kit a little bit here. There we go. All right, and you can already start to see, now we're at a much higher numerical aperture lens. In cross polarization here, you can already start to see the lineolae on this Navicula oblonga popping out pretty clearly. And so let's see, what have I got here? I've got that set up, and I think I'm gonna twiddle around with I think it's in a good spot. Then I'm just gonna come in here with a wave plate, and I'm going to change my OBS lot. No, that one's this one. And so now I've got this lovely lavender. And I'm getting some nice lineolae on this frustule. And I think I need to come in here, that down. This is a tricky little setup here I've found. let's see. I'm also wondering, it's a little less bright than I'm used to, which makes me wonder if I've set something up wrong. Oh, I think I know. Yeah. All right. I know what I did. There we go. All right. There we go. Just had to change my picture profile. Okay. And yeah, with this setup, we're able to resolve these lineolae. And so there's something interesting about the lineolae here, which is that, you know, they're thinner. The pores are thinner than the spaces between the pores. So it's kind of hard to like figure out like when you're really perfectly in focus. But theoretically, those gaps are less than the diffraction limit is laid down by Abe. And if we come over to this pinularia, we can see some other fine structures. We zoom in, we can just barely make out in the striae of the pinularia some little structure. Let's see, let's bring this down. And those structures are like on the order, those are like well below 200 nanometers. So I'm not really doing anything with the wavelength that I know of. I'm basically just, I mean, the wave plate's just straight up because it looks kind of nasty without it. I don't know why it's bad. What is up with that? I feel like I forgot to do something. Okay. Yeah, that's like... There we go. That looks closer to what I had before. So anyway, I want to go to a different slide now. We'll go to my strew slide, and we'll just look at some other diatoms that are on that. That thing's full of diatoms. It's pretty cool. We can probably see some like structural color on some stuff. That. Okay. Okay. And so the thing about going to violet, yeah, I'm not exactly sure how it works because, like, you know, yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's... I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay. Let's look at here. Right, this takes a second. I just want to... why are you so green? Because of this. This is fun. This is with the wave plate in there. And so now we're in dark field with the wave plate, kind of twisting up the polarization, and you just get these like really cool color effects. Yeah, theory. It's a good thought on the. So honestly though, I think I get the best results when I'm without the wave plate. I think the wave plate is a lateral move, and then if you go too far, you get worse results. Um, so let's see, these diatoms here that have kind of the kind of chunky, boxy exteriors. Those are epithemia. They have this kind of triangular kind of pointy thing in their on their frustules. You can identify them pretty easily. And then I'm really looking for like a nice pinularia, like maybe this one here, where we can get some nice. Ooh, that's a nice big one right there. I want to get some nice poroids. So I'm gonna go back down. I'm gonna oil the slide. I should be showing this. And I'm gonna put the 60x in position. And then just come in, and there we go. I just love the effects that I'm getting on these. And but yeah, here we can start seeing really well. So inside of these little fingers, you can see they get like there's some dots and little like undulations, and those are poroids. I should have gotten some like SEM images to show in comparison with this. Those are really tiny. They're real tiny. And so this thing is just super fun to like go around, and you can see a lot of stuff that like classically you'd think you would need a scanning electron microscope to see. Once again, we've got our poroids there. Oops. I'm gonna go there, come in here. Got there. Yeah, you can see all these little poroids in the frustule. And what's really incredible is I used to have to like do 12-second exposures and stuff to get poroids to show up like that. It was a real hassle. And now with my new camera, I can really just absolutely rock with these things. And so one of the things that's kind of gotten in motion since I've been applying this technique and showing it off is so there's a streamer by the name of Diatom's Attack, friend of the channel, friend of Diatoms, and he is a diatomist, and basically studies diatoms for a living. He's I think he's cataloged like 50 species or something like that. And apparently he's got a problem. There are two diatom species that look very similar. And typically, you need a scanning electron microscope to tell them apart. And it turns out that what I'm doing here, being able to see these poroids and whatnot, and the lineolae, that might mean that they could start differentiating species with just a light microscope, which of course is a lot cheaper and less cumbersome than scanning electron microscope. I'm gonna go the other way with these. Oh, is this? Oh, I'm using. That's funny. Okay, there we go. I was wondering why it looked. The colors just looked a little bit off. It's because I had the wrong LUT, and this is like my official HyperLight LUT. And yeah, so let's see. I love looking at these diatoms. Epithemia again, lots of epithemia. And gosh, yeah, I think are these. So one of the issues that you have when you're trying to use the light microscope to figure out features is that they can kind of, depending on how you focus, they can kind of shift on you and look like different things. These can look like lineolae at first, and then depending on how you focus, they can look like poroids. So there's definitely going to be like an art to what I'm doing. But I do think, the cool thing about this technique is that it really takes like no super expensive equipment. I mean, a 1.4 numerical aperture lens is definitely going to cost you a little bit, but I think it's within the budget of most like researchers. And but you don't have to have a DIC system. These are some real nice lineolae here. And the lineolae, if you look at them under the scanning electron microscope, so they're spaced by about 300 nanometers, and then the lineolae themselves are about 100 nanometers wide, maybe a little bit more than that, maybe like 140, and then the rest is the spacing, the silica in between. So one of the things I'm always looking for is like, okay, do these actually look? Do the lineolae, do the dark parts look thinner than the bright parts? And I would say, yeah, I think so. I think it's pretty close to right. I'd probably need to like pull up ImageJ to really do it justice, but. Yeah, it seems like, I don't know what the deal is, but it seems like techniques like this, they're known by a few people. Oh, here's a good one. Yeah. But it seems like they've kind of fallen out of favor. Yeah, here's a great example. Okay, yeah. Yeah, this is when I was looking at the other night. So to me, this looks like the striae have like little staggered poroids, and so at first that's what I thought they were, and I put that in my presentation. And then if you like you like alter your focus a little bit. Actually, these ones are kind of looking real. The long story short, I basically I thought I saw staggered pores, and so I put that in my like description of what I saw, um, and then the diatoms researcher, diatoms tac that I was working with, he was like, oh no, I think like if you look at that species, they don't have they just have like lineolae. Then I went back and I like refocused, and I was like, okay, maybe they're lineolae. This is a great shot though. Um, with the I'm gonna take a couple of screenshots here. Oh my goodness, how did screenshot? There we go. Great. Yeah, this is a really nicely. So one of the other things too is like, of course, it's very sensitive in terms of like where, how the frustules are laying, how deep they are. Oh, this is cool too. So we can see here, there's a little bright spot at the end of the frustule, and that is a Rimoportula. That's like a little, like a larger pore that these like long diatoms. I guess other diatoms do have them. Yeah, this is really great. This is like here you can very clearly see. So I guess here you can kind of see where like the staggered pores. If I focus up a little bit, they kind of just start looking like lineolae. But I saw some SEM images with those staggered pore formations, and I was like, oh man, they're real. How about that? Here's something different that's got pore structures. I want to find like a Nietzschea would be nice. Here's a nice epithemia. What's that? Epithemia gibba. And these ones, they're kind of interesting. The pores kind of blend together, and I think it's more because they're like, I don't know, they're like thin or something. There's something going on with this diatom. Ooh, those is that are those custae, I think. Oh, that's really cool. Actually, I've never seen that. I've never like focused just perfectly like this before. I think those are custae, which are like they're kind of like the ribs of epithemia. We'll get a hard copy right there. So yeah, again, what's interesting about this technique is that the big star of the show is that costs money is the 1.4 numerical aperture lens, and it will work with a 100x or 60x. I'm using a 60x because better for 4K, kind of pack more detail in, but either will work, and it could be argued that 100x is better, honestly, for this kind of work. So this is was it Ulnaria capitata, I think is the name of this one. Hold on, let me pull up my folder where I was doing diatom identification. Sort by view scales. Yeah, Ulnaria capitata. The capitata has this this kind of, I think it's cap. I don't know. Now I'm tripping myself. This is why I need diatoms tac in here. help me. I've been teasing him about his microscopy skills. I'm like, yo, you guys don't even know how to use a light microscope properly. And he's been teasing me back about my lack of knowledge on diatoms. Oh, I really love how these epithemia look sometimes with these like checkerboard kind of pustules. But I think, you know, really what the cool thing that I'm doing here, so HyperLight, I kind of dubbed this, I gave this the name HyperLight, which is sort of a nod to ultra microscopy, which is like what they used to call like super high numerical aperture dark field imaging. Just barely make out the poroids. It's interesting on the Pinularia, some species, the poroids are like barely resolvable. Some of them, they're not resolvable at all. And then others, I'm hoping that we can find one. Some of them, they're like extremely clear. And those are really cool to find. Maybe no, this is one that's kind of in between. So HyperLight. So this technique, I didn't come up with the technique of using like an oil immersion condenser and two polarizers crossed. That was in, actually I'll show. So this slide, as well as the sort of my famous slide that is there we go. My famous like rainbow diatom slide. And had window source. Okay. Yeah, this is these slides come from this place in Italy, diatomshop.com, and there's kind of they give you these like instructions on how to resolve the diatoms. And so you go P nobilis, this is the final one, this is the Pinularia, these are the hardest ones, those poroids. Oil immersion with a 1.3 or 1.4 numerical aperture. They suggest double immersion, polarized light, or immersion dark field condensers, which are what we're doing with polarized light. And so my little twist is just adding the adding down here the little wave plate, which takes it from kind of this muddy looking thing, which is probably the best way to honestly use it. You probably get the best contrast there, but I've been getting great results with just opening this up a little bit. Just takes a couple degrees. And oh, this is a nice one here. Some nice even poroids going around. We'll just scroll around until we see something real good to look at. Wow. And then I just love how, like, depending on how things are oriented, advice for a camera that works with a Nikon F mount that won't break the bank. No idea, to be honest. Nikon. Wow, so this is a great example here of a Pinularia where the poroids are just really clearly resolved. And do a little screenshot. So Storm Chaser Maggie is asking me to explain the shells that the diatoms used to be in. Okay, yeah. So diatoms, they're actually, it's hard to describe them when you. For the longest time, every time I saw a diatom, I always assumed that they were just like variations on pickle shaped, like the most of them, the like the pinularias and whatnot. That they all just kind of were these sort of submarine shaped things. Maybe some of them were like curved, but they're all kind of round, at least in my mind. But diatoms, they have this interesting structure where they're actually they're sort of capped. Like they have two valves that are kind of like U-shaped, and that's what we're looking at. We're looking at a bunch of valves here, and these are usually single valves. So some of them might be kind of sitting like this, and some of them might be sitting up like this. And then a diatom that's alive has two valves together, and depending on how they fit together, they can actually be quite different than you would expect when they're turned in different ways. So most often you'll see diatoms, most of the ones that we're seeing here are in what's called valve view. But if they're sitting differently, if they're sitting kind of 90 degrees rotated from that, that's called girdle view. And the girdle view, like epithemia, for instance, when they're in girdle view, they're chunky. They're chunky looking. They're very broad and like almost like rectangular. And again, these are the epithemia. So they really are like taller than you would imagine. Yeah, so they're diatoms live in these glass shells basically, and when you're looking at them with a light microscope, you might get the impression that the shells are like solid, but actually diatoms, they need to breathe and take in nutrients and whatnot, and so actually they're usually covered in all sorts of like very intricate little pores. And so that's like, here we're looking at Navicula oblonga, which is one of my favorite diatoms. And all these little slits that make up the striae, all these little tiny slits that I'm resolving here, those are little pores that kind of connect to the inside of the diatom, the squishy cytoplasm inside of the diatom, to the outside world, allow it to sort of exist and respirate. It'd be nice to find like, oh, that's a difference. Oh, this is it's a broken nedium, I believe. Nedium, because I can see the little longitudinal canal there. There's some other nedium on the slide. This is Cerirella, and this one is like a super interesting diatom. You can see that it has this like crazy undulating valve face. I can never actually get it in focus like all at once. And you can see you can see that this valve face is actually covered in tiny little poroids. So the armor, it's almost more like maybe like chainmail or something like that. It's got holes in it, and it kind of, maybe not chainmail, I don't know. It's like rigid chainmail or something. Like it's got holes in it because the diatoms need to breathe, poop basically. Every living thing needs to be able to get stuff in and get stuff out of its body, of its living system. Mike's asking if the pores are selective. I don't know what you mean by that. And honestly, even if I did, I probably wouldn't be able to answer. I'm not a diatom expert yet. I'm a diatom journeyman, but I'm pretty good at and getting them under the microscope is all. So that's what I do. But yeah, I if I had to guess of like how many people in the world know how to do this, what we're doing right now, like it'd be a very small number. And that's kind of a shame. One of the things that I like, you know, am sort of frustrated about kind of in general is like the the art of microscopy is like a skill that you actually practice and try to get good at. Um, seems to be kind of fading in biology. You know, you just don't. Practically every biologist I've met, kind of doesn't really know their way around a microscope. And it's just it didn't used to be that way. There used to be like these awesome biologists out there who are also like really great microscopists, understood how to like use the microscope to its full advantage, and then that art seems to have kind of died off. And people aren't, even though they have like really nice microscope systems, they just don't know how to fully use them. And so hopefully, with what I'm doing here, we can get this back into rotation, into circulation, and get at least our diatomists doing some nice high-end microscopy. And the diatoms deserve it, I would say. They are excellent specimens for this. There's a nice big Pinularia. This is Pinularia streptorrhaphi, I believe. Has a slightly asymmetric central area. It has an undulate raphy. I think that's all I really remember about it, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. That's one of the ones I learned how to identify. And it's got some poroids, which are pretty tiny, but I would say definitely resolvable. And certainly if I was using a camera, I think another thing to just like keep in mind is like, what I'm doing here, this is video. Like I'm running at 60 frames per second. If I take some images, it'll be much clearer. Oh, this is an interesting one here. This is like a centric diatom. And these things have some weird stuff happens when you're focusing on the. Get some strange kind of optical stretching effects. Yeah, and it's it's a shame because there's still like really good science to be done Sorry, I unplugged my microphone. And yeah, there's still really good science to be done um, with light microscopes, at least as far as diatoms go, and probably other stuff too. Another area of microscopy in general that can probably be explored more is just generally polarized light microscopy. So I have a video called Shinya Vision, and it's describes a technique that was patented in Japan in like I think the 1930s by this guy Shinya Inoue. And he was a real master microscopist and biologist. He really understood both biology and optics in a way that made him just better than other people at doing his job as a biologist. And these are some real fine like poroids here. I guess this is probably like a Nichia. I think that's what these are. You could want to. It's real close. I think without the video, I might be able to get a little shot of that. So Shinya Inoue, he built a microscope, a polarized light microscope, and one of the things that happens when you when you have this is gonna be tough to show maybe when you have polarized light coming up and then it gets bent through your condenser. So if it's polarized in like a certain direction and gets bent, sometimes that polarization can be maintained. But if it's bent kind of like obliquely, then the polarization is lost. And that's why you get in polarized light, a lot of times you'll see like a black cross. And that's where you have like you're getting cross polarization in like vertical and horizontal polarization, but the other polarizations are like are kind of being lost, and so you don't get like a total blackout at high numerical apertures when you cross polarizers. And so Shinya Inoue, he figured out this thing called the it's a nice Staronis. It's a beautiful one, actually. I don't see as many of them on this slide. So he figured out this thing called a compensator, a polarization compensator, that allows you to work around that, and that allowed him to visualize these like really incredible biological processes, like the mitotic spindle fibers forming as cells undergo mitosis. And he was doing all that like way back in the day, and it was through an understanding, like a real keen understanding of microscopy, that he was able to do that, but also a background in biology. So he wrote in one of his later papers that he believed that there was still work to be done, that there was still new methods to be found in polarized light microscopy for biology. And that would be really cool someday to If you ever look at pictures of his microscopes, though, they don't look like hobbyist stuff. They are really sophisticated systems. But yeah, would be cool to do. Ooh, here's a nice fully formed Durarella sitting nicely here. See just the texture there. These things are so strange to look at. At lower magnifications, they have this like strange like snaking artifact through them in like dark field. Kind of the way that they play with the light. It almost looks like Unreal or something. Ooh, this is I don't know what diatom this is. Very pretty. Wow. Yeah, this technique just really makes like all these like little pores and stuff jump out. Is this whoa? What is this? Kind of looks like is it a Cimbella fragment? It must be a Cimbella fragment. Cimbella have big old pores. No trouble seeing those with a normal microscope. And Cimbella are great diatoms just in general. A lot of people really find Cimbella to be pleasingly shaped. Pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, again, I just want to reiterate, like I struggled so much to get these poroids and stuff back before I got this camera and like really took another swing at this technique. And now it's amazing to just be able to like dip onto them. This is all right, how do I say this one? I gotta actually read it. Anemones, I think is how you say it. Anemones. These have pretty interesting frustules. Yeah, they kind of look unusual compared to a lot of them. They have that kind of like those lines of pores going along their raphe. There's another star anise frustule. I have a new diatom test slide coming with like the arranged diatom, and then I have I got 4 more Strew slides coming. These are they're from Japan. I think it's like a fossil diatom repository in Japan. And I'm really excited. Those look like they're going to be a lot different than what I've got on this slide. Oh, this one's like almost in like partial girdle view or something, so you can see how thin the depth of focus is as I focus through this valve. Kind of like an MRI or something. So when they're sitting like this, you can see they're pretty flat. They're a lot of diatoms are kind of boxy shaped rather than as like curvy as you might think they look. They're a little bit more boxy. strange critters all around, honestly. Like they've always got something weird going on. There's always a diatom that surprises you. Okay, I'm gonna try something now. I want to go to a wet slide and see if we can't see what this technique kind of looks like on some critters. I've had mixed results, I would say. It's something I'm still like working on. Part of that may be, you know, these diatoms, they're mounted in like high index media, so maybe that's like important. But give me a sec here and I will pull out. I'm going to try to get a mosquito larva. I think that would be interesting to look at. And we'll try it in a deep well slide. I haven't tried that yet. Okay, we got a couple little critters on this one. And we'll see. I suspect, so one of the nice things with polarization, one cool effect that you can get is that muscle fibers will often behave, they'll have like a strong polarization response that kind of changes on like how they're flexing and how they're pointed. And then the other thing these mosquito larvae have are these really cool like vasculature systems, and so they've been showing up pretty good. Okay, now I just got to get it kind of crush them if I put the cover slip on. Come on, come back this way. Boy, making a mess. Making a mess. Okay. I think we did it though. We just kind of went for it. Okay, I think the mosquito's kind of pinned. Wouldn't be a bad thing. And I'm just going to try to get this water off the top of my slide. Okay, it should be fine. All right. All righty. Let's see if we see anything. Ah, yes. A little dark. It's a little dark. These mosquito larvae, not everything works. Let's see. I'm going to try, what if I go to my filters here and I use this one instead? Yeah, how about that? Yo, nice, Tomarski. I posted a photo the other day of a mosquito larva using this kind of illumination technique. And you can see just the vasculature. The vasculature, I'm assuming it's vasculature. Could it be musculature? Whatever it is, it really pops out from inside this thing. It's covered in all sorts of like little bristles and whatnot. And also somewhere we got like a copepod. Let's see if we can find that code. Got some speedy little ciliates. Got a bubble. Okay. I want to see. Uh-oh. This is one of the problems when you use oil. It gets everywhere. It starts to get like underneath the slide, and then you're really hosed because the slide wants to like stick to the stage. And now where'd the mosquito larva go? There it is. All right, we'll stick with what we got. So again, just like one of the really nice things about these oil immersion lenses or condensers is you can just, I mean, you get such strong results. Wow. Yeah, this is the 20x. Looked at these before, and I'm always like looking for like blood pumping or something like that. Some evidence. The mosquito larvae, they seem to just kind of chill once you get them on the slide. Little ciliates visiting here. Wow, you can see the some like dry. Oh, you can see the mouth. See the little mouth bits. This is cool that they're just kind of hanging out like right here. Go back to our computer here. It's crazy. You look in like the inside of the mosquito larva. I swear, dude, it looks like something from outer space. It looks like a nebula. Like, look at that. What are those? What is that? got all the little fuzzy bits there. Okay. All right. Hold on. First, I'm just gonna use my eyes. I'm gonna see if I can see anything else swimming around on the slide. Okay, I think we got something. Alright. That's a bubble. Hold on. Oh, I don't think it was a bubble that I was looking at. There we go. Whoa. Some little kind of crustacean thing. Got a heartbeat going. Not a copepod. I thought it was a copepod. Wow. A little, whatever that is, it's a little too deep for me to get like great views on it. One thing I will say is I feel like stuff comes into focus in this method, especially with like the 20x. Oh, hello. One's a little feisty. I feel like it's pretty darn sharp. Is that an eye? So yeah, I don't know. This technique is like, my goodness, Windows, please. No. Whoa, hey, look at that. That's like a little hyper trick. Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna put a little water on the slide. If that kind of revives this critter at all. I wish it was just kind of more laid out neatly so we could get a better look at it. Man, it's been a minute since I looked through my stereoscope without the 15x ultra wides. Rough. It's not a Daphnia. Oh, look at that. We can see some there are some bacteria that have come to check this thing out. Just barely see him. Some bacilliform bacteria. Okay. I'm trying to get like a rotifer out of this petri dish, and it is not happening. Okay, I'm gonna try one more time. This petri dish here. We are on the struggle bus for sure. Okay, I got a nice little set of rotifers here. We'll check them out. Putting my Notamata. Sorry for the delay. We are still trying to get in the swing of like pairing slides ahead of time, having a plan, that kind of thing. Okay, I'll pop that guy off. I think I'm gonna put a little bit more oil on my condenser. Then seeing a lot of slides. I will tell you guys, you'll go through a lot more Kim wipes pretty quickly if you start doing oil techniques. Let's see. A hot pixel, I don't necessarily love that. There you go, okay. What in the heck am I looking at? There we go. Kind of weird. It's a deep well thing. Oh, I'm dumb. That's all. That's all. Andrew, you missed the HyperLight. We spent a long time in HyperLight. Oh, yo, check that out. Uh-oh. Crazy. Oh, wow. Did not. Oh, this has the so this is the same rotifer that I captured in that video all those times ago. Notamata. And I said in that video it had like a really birefringent piece. And I think that's what we're seeing here, is this like that yellow thing. Yeah, those are the same crystals. Hold on, let me what mode am I? Picture profile. I'm supposed to be in this one. Yeah. Wow. This thing looks wild. It's got a lot going on. Nope, here's another one. Different species. And then the eyes just glow super red. And I thought it was maybe just polarization, but it looks like it's actually they just capture the light really well. And then there's those two glowing patches behind the eye. That's interesting. Those look like maybe they're polarization dependent. Yeah, wow, look at that. Back. Those little glowing bits behind the eye are very interesting. And then it looks like maybe there's some musculature, kind of that like horseshoe shaped thing that's kind of orangish. Oh, there it popped out its auricles. You guys see? Auricles for fire. Oh, this one, the hammerhead rotifer. One of my favorite little rotifers to follow around. Always up to something. Oh. Crash. Oh, there go the oracles. Now it's swimming. Yeah, so this technique, Andrew, this is kind of HyperLight right now. It's the same setup that I've been using for HyperLight. It's just not with a numerical aperture 1.4 lens, so it's still dark field. But yeah, essentially just using a oil immersion dark field condenser, and then cross polarizing the light, and then to get like these nice little like kind of hues, just a wave plate to slightly just shift the hues and give it some fun rainbow colors. Wow. It really does show this organism is like so different looking. Hey, what if I put, what am I filtering? Yeah, I'm on that one right now. I think that's right. This is interesting because on the last, on that video that I did recently with the Rotifer and 4 techniques, I don't think I saw this like bright crescent moon shaped thing. But maybe I just wasn't looking closely. Come on now. Stay still. What are these called? I've actually got pretty. So this is a petri dish that I kind of I had. It was actually the first time that I did the YouTube stream, like the debut stream. Um, I the last slide turned out to be really, really great. It had a green stentor and these rotifers here that I really like. These are gosh, the Namatia or whatever. I know that's not the right word, but they have really interesting behavior. They seem to be almost social, like they hang out with each other and kind of like scoot around with each other. Almost they remind me of kind of like cats. They're not like super social, but they'll like they stick together, you know. It could be, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I swear I'm seeing that with these. Oh my goodness! I look at my slide and like I can tell there's just like oil between it and the stage table, like all over the place. Oh well. But yeah, so after I did that that slide, after I got that slide, I just put it in a petri dish with some, and I just added some extra water, and it's actually turned into a pretty nice little like community. There's a bunch of rotifers in there. I saw today there's a green stentor in there too, stentor polymorphus. So it's interesting, like, you know, sometimes you make this little like community on accident. Let's see if we can find anything else on this slide. Is that a different one? No, it's the same one. Ooh, hey, look at that. We got a little Nautilus here. And a nice glowing eye. Beady little critter. Not much going on. I was kind of surprised that it's not like super polarization-y with like muscle fibers and stuff. I wish you weren't so fast. Problem is, so once you get oil in between the slide and the stage, it basically adheres the slide to the stage, and then when you try to move left and right, the stage clip, the slide clip just opens instead of actually moving the slide, instead of like pushing it around. Maybe I could like rig up a way to just make that not an issue. But I don't mind necessarily having to clean my stage table afterwards. It's just the need to be able to like track stuff. Okay, y'all, well, I've gone for about an hour and 40 now, and I think I'm gonna call it a night. I did not get a lot of sleep last night. I was messing around with diatom slides, so I'm probably gonna go right to bed. But thanks so much for watching, and if you want to image diatoms in a very high resolution manner, probably the best that you're gonna get without the scanning electron microscope, I'm your guy. Let me know. And yeah, I'll see y'all next time. Cheers.